at the center of that lake, the innermost heart where the stone is lost. What will we dive in for after all, if not for that one submerged life? Was it there that the three men drowned? They were on vacation, partying, and didn't know how unforgiving that lake might be. Was it the golden fern I looked for in those in those woods, the fern that flowered only for those who saw? And where was the good after my mother boarded that train with my grandmother as the soldier walked past them, threw their suitcase out? Could one believe in anything after that? Yeah, my grandmother smoked and read, helped others escape, the school, the wounds. Anna painted a railroad tie that stretched across her hand. Give a child an ideology and it might masquerade as rainbow for a time until she confronts its texture, stained, smiling glass. Then how should she walk to the other side of the world without breaking? The man who turns away in the aisle, it's the look that startles, how quickly I am made foreign. Did I ever talk to those three men before they drowned? Did I pass them unknowingly during a summer's walk? Who found the books in the church cupola where my father hid them 50 years after his village burned? Did a stranger write a dedication for someone he fell in love with, someone who died in resistance? Once I received a prayer mat and used it. How I loved you those days in the Hudson Valley. How you thought of the universe as a swing and how we found it one day, water flowing upward on Peace Road. These days, I take walks and photograph a bright green lawn. I believe the branches on the ground are my feelings, but I don't want to bend. Deer cross the road one by one. We are not in the present, we are not in the past. My grandmother's suitcase is trapped in midair, but the train moves on. After years, I visit a museum. The work is there, an image of her hand, the rails, the wood. It is the wood we carry within. My father never saw his father again. Today they meet in a field where there are no bombs, and his father says, "Go now, I have other children to protect." In my dream, my father's youthful lover was deported but returns. I rode in that same weathered boat. Somewhere the sky breathes. 3 children escape. Later, 3 daughters die of silence. My grandmother smokes, circles walk on the air. Passaic gets its first ice skating rink. No one knows skates, yet donations arrive. No one drowns.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just read one more, I think. This one is an older poem. It's called You Are. You speak at the level of bone. You are political. You know the growing poem in a woman's throat is not far from her silence, thick as it becomes, with rape and wartime buried manuscripts in a rain. You are in the place where a woman is. Her shadow fits her body, and her shadow arm is yours. Whenever she moves, you move. Whenever she dreams you, you exist. You're political. You read her body's letters without claiming them. You know there is no owning another's voice. There is no speaking a foreign language unless you have loved in that language, unless you've made it familiar. By accepting the one untranslatable word that will never be yours, but the grain around which your life will grow. You are political. You hear the voice of sand, the sand of forgotten languages. Without exposing her pain, you recover woman's history. You stand inside her silence like slow music darkening. Thank you.
And that concludes our poetry session. That is just the beginning of the poetry experience for many of you, hopefully, because we have all the books that were read that you got a sort of sampling of, and they're all for sale, and they're not very expensive, so they make great Christmas presents that you can also enjoy at home by yourself. And also, I want to congratulate all our poets for reading these poems in front of the man. Because although Shevchenko might not have been a scientist, as far as I know, he certainly was one hell of a poet. So, to the new poets, a big hand. So, and also you can get your book signed by the poet.
Thank you for all participants. Thank you for coming at Shevchenko Scientific Society. On the third floor, we have a reception. And the next event in our society will be in December 14, Saturday. 70. Oh, I'm so sorry. 70. Yes, it's a very interesting topic. It's a round table about Ukrainian nationalism. Invite all to be here. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hey, great. I think we should sit down.